Our town. That's the reaction from some Jackson County residents regarding efforts by out-of-state Christian nationalists to potentially remake their community. Good evening to you. I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, first broke this story last week about the efforts to, quote, build a town in the county seat of Gainesboro. And that shocked the people who already live there.
After giving residents time to digest this news, Phil went back to town about 90 minutes northeast of Nashville, this time to listen to the people of Jackson County.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
As word has spread across Jackson County, a gathering of friends quickly turned into an impromptu town hall. Some just came with questions.
You want to sit there and let me hear for or two?
Others with deep concerns.
We don't want one news story to portray something of Jackson County that we're not.
Their concerns.
We're building a town, right? We're building a community there.
The white Christian nationalists, led by podcasters Andrew Isker and C.J. Engel, now setting their sights on Jackson County and the county seat of Gainesboro, hoping to turn this quaint community of just over 12,000 people into a political haven for others like themselves.
Welcome back to Ran-DomU University. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Today we've got a lot to discuss. And today we're going to be discussing Jason Aldean. You know, he had a great song. I think he put it out earlier this year talking about don't bring that mess to a small town. And especially our small town is what they're talking about in Jackson, Tennessee, as the Tiki Torch Whites are coming marching in. They're ringing their torches, they're bringing their hate and bigotry right into a town that has no business having it in it. They don't want no business with it. I know that town is just over littered with white people, but that's not a town that's littered with those types of white people. Just like black people like to say, those ratchet blacks aren't us. They want to say the same thing to them, like they're not like us.
What is it you would like for these people coming in from out of state to know? What message would you have for these people?
This town is not for them.
Bigotry is not one.
No, it's not for them.
We are not that community, and we don't want to be a part of a racial hate community. These people's views do not represent our community. And if they think they're going to come in here and take over and force their views on everybody else, they're going to have a fight on their hands.
I mean, it's a lot of similar things, as silly as it is. Like, we all have different classes of people in our races all over the board. We all have the side that is more well-behaved and the other side that is, well, we would like to keep them hidden in the closet and away from the public eye because they just kind of seem to bring, like, you know, the visual herpes that nobody wants to see. They're just like that giant mouse sore that's actually herpes that everybody keeps trying to call a cold sore. It's like, it's not a cold sore. That's racism. Those are the Tiki Torch Whites. That's what's going on in Jackson. They're trying to take over that town.
Did anyone have any sense about these people prior to this story? Among those we met, some had deep roots.
My family's been here for 7 generations.
Others were drawn here by the openness of the people they now call neighbors.
This town is such a loving group of people. I am accepted, even though I came from outside.
And we were there to listen. What has this story done to this community's sense of well-being?
I think mainly people are scared.
Diane Murphy is vice chair of the local Republican Party.
Yeah, I listened to the podcasts. I did the research on what you mentioned. It scares me that they are very clear about taking over.
And they're like, look, hey, we don't have the same thoughts as y'all. Like, yeah, just because we don't have as many blacks or Mexicans or Jews or whatever in this city doesn't mean we don't like them. They just don't happen to live here. We don't believe in what you believe in.
But what really concerned these Jackson County residents, some who were reluctant for their faces to be on camera, are the podcasters' views that the civil rights movement was a mistake, that foreigners who've become U.S. citizens still don't belong in America.
Y'all want to start doing some crazy stuff and turning everybody into some type of hate group that we don't want to have anything a part of. Like, I know the KKK started in Pulaski, Tennessee, which isn't that far away, but that's not here.
When you hear them talking about coming here to build a town, to build a community, what's your reaction?
I'd love to speak to that. That makes me mad.
Diana Manley owns a local restaurant, and she sees a community that's remaking itself without the help of strangers from out of state who don't understand what Jackson County already has.
People from all different walks of life, genealogies, nationalities, race, you name it. We have got a melting pot right here in this small town, all working together to make this town come back to life.
What is it you're afraid of losing?
I don't want to lose what we already have. The sense of community.
It is a very welcoming community, but I think they kind of came in under the radar and want to recreate it in their own image.
That's not this town. That town is trying to take a stand and say, hey, no, we don't want that in this place. And that's a good thing. And, and I think this is the part that where, if you drive around in a lot of country areas, you're going to see a whole lot of red and a whole lot of Trump signs. And the crazy thing is, this is where the divide comes in. This is where people have to start learning the difference between the right and the alt-right. Like, these aren't people who all see stuff in the same light. Like, those people bleed right, they bleed red, but they don't believe that far right and that far red. They just say, hey, Trump's my president. These people say Trump's going to help us take our country back. There's a difference between the two. There's one that believes, hey, the economy's going to get better, and the other one believes that we're going to take over the economy.
Developers with right-wing ties have purchased hundreds of acres of land in the area, trying to recruit other like-minded people to join Isker and Engel in relocating to Gainesboro. In a video posted online by one of the developers, Isker talks about the ability of those people to get their way in a small community.
Right, you can exercise far more political power, even with a few hundred or a few thousand people, than you can on your own, widely dispersed across the entire country.
Forgive the background noise. I'm actually here at a watch party with the Jackson County GOP.
On election night, the podcasters monitored the results from Gainesboro, with the real estate developer behind the project, Josh Abatoy, doing a live report from a local watch party that he had hosted. One of their podcast buddies also set up an account on X, formerly Twitter, that claimed to represent the views of the local Republican Party.
God made men to rule, period.
Then there are their views on women and how they detest the specific impact of college-educated white women on the culture of the world they see around them.
And that's what leads other people, like in the black communities or the other Asian communities, whatever, Mexican, illegal immigrants. That's why people started getting concerned in some of these circles, because they're starting to think, oh my God, are they going to start coming for us? Are these hate groups going to start coming out of the woodworks? Just like you see here on this platform, where I expose people like Myron Gaines and these other idiots going into these circles where you are not wanted. They don't want a black Sudanese person in their white hate group. Why are you in here trying to have conversations? Homie, do you not realize once we get done trying to keep all the Jews, which is like their plan, I guess, because it's so stupid, but I don't understand it. They're going to come after you next. Then we're going to get the other blacks. Even though what's weird about this whole agenda is they're like, hey, if you were born here, if you're like a natural slave, if you're a slave descendant, you can stay. You'll just have to stay repressed and stay underneath the white man and just know your place among society. You know how Random University has a Tiers of Delusion chart? Blacks go underneath the chart. Whites take up the rest of the chart, and not just all the whites, but our whites. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing that's taking place in Jackson, and they don't like it. And honestly, these are the kind of things that we can all band around together, because when people don't like racism and bigotry, which is the majority of the people in the country, guess what we can all rally around? A good cause. That's something that people need to recognize and see that's going on. And that's where, once again, that disconnect comes in. Like, oh my God, is this going to become a national problem? Is Trump going to see what's going on? I doubt it. I doubt he's going to even care. People can probably get hung up by the streets. Heck, we had people still trying to pass bills here in Tennessee last year that would keep lynching in place. And of course, it was in a county called White County. Yeah. Fitting, right? I mean, of course, they would love to have that law still there. And when you go through that county, you feel that way. I used to play basketball against that team, and trust me, that ain't a place that you like to play at very often. It was one of those venues you definitely wanted to avoid if you could.
GOP. It said it was the official account of the Jackson County GOP.
But it was not.
Party Chair Bo Smith learned about the account from News Channel 5 Investigates. We also showed him where Engel had tweeted that the best way forward for Christian nationalists is to take over local level outlets of the Republican Party.
So that's not going to happen, especially now due to your reporting. We're thankful for that. And, knowing these people are in our community is a big deal.
The white women on Facebook that you're referring to, they are probably the scariest thing that these guys are going to have to deal with now.
What I saw and heard on this day is that if the Christian nationalists think Gainsborough and Jackson County is a place where people all think like them, they don't know Jackson County. Phil Williams, News Channel 5 Investigates.
You know, I love Phil Williams. I love Phil Williams because he's a guy who's going to just take on these problems head on. That old man shows no fear when it comes to reporting. He believes bringing in the news. I've talked about him here on this channel before when he was reporting on Gabrielle Hansen, who was just this phony politician who was trying to basically, bring in all of these same similar people into Nashville. And guess what? These people weren't having it, so she didn't win. Like, enough of these people are going to rise up to the cause and say, no, we really don't want that here. Like, we like to keep it white. We don't want to keep it that white. That's what they are. And that's a good sign for the rest of us. I mean, look, we get it. Like, we want to keep it black, but we don't want to keep it, too ratchet black. There's a difference. And we all know it's kind of the same at the same point. But it's just disturbing that this is happening in my home state. And it causes you to wonder, what's going to happen at night? Do I have to, keep my windows and blinds open? Do I need to keep my strap on me at all times? You might. It's already, just carry at will state. If you have a firearm, you can just walk down the sidewalk with it. Just literally, you can look back on this channel. I had a video a long time ago, didn't get no views, but this guy was just walking down the sidewalk with basically an assault rifle and nobody could do anything. They did take him in and had him evaluated, but they couldn't arrest him because the law says you could have it. Crazy, I know, wild, wild west, truly out here. It's dangerous. But, it just depends on what you think about these situations. It's just wild to think that they're really just trying to show up and they all look like the normal white guys, the typical frat bros, that's what they look like, average businessmen. They don't look like hicks or people from the trailer park, like people who would be deemed as the righteous ones. Not them. Those aren't the ones that we have to worry about. It's the wolves in sheep's clothing, as they would say. And they said the same thing.
Have these Christian nationalist podcasters, these developers, tried to have a meeting like this to sit down and answer your questions?
They're wolves in sheep's clothing.
They know it. You see the phonies, you see the frauds, the ones who are literally just using you. The same thing as these people in the manosphere, the same people in Red Pill. They're just wolves. They're people that are hiding. They don't care about any of the people that they're trying to cater to or say that they're trying to help and save out here. All these lives they said, they ain't saved any lives. Once again, I don't know how many times I gotta say, nobody has called fresh and fit when they had the gun to their head. I don't know of not one person who had the noose tied and said, oh my God, I gotta call Myron. No, they didn't do that. And if they did, they should have just went ahead and hung up and never mind. I'm not gonna finish that statement because I've said worse things before and I wanna keep my platform. But, it's just, look, nobody likes these people and they need to go away and need to get on about themselves. Don't bring that mess to this small town. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I just literally wanted to bring this news story to people's attention and just see what y'all thought about it. Please leave comments down below. What do you think about these things? This is one reason why I don't promote racism. I get, look, I'm pro-black. I want things to be as black as you possibly can, but I also just want people to be effing happy. And I don't think walking around in fear and trying to think you should conquer folks still in 2024 is going to be the best strategy for happiness for everybody. I think we need to band together and fix the economy, but you still have other people with crazy agendas. And that's why we have to call these folks out here on the internet the best we can, because guess where we all are? On the internet, social media. So hopefully this stuff can get the attention that it needs and maybe, something will get done about it. Maybe people will rise up. I hope it doesn't come down to a war between that town and the Tiki Torch Whites, because if the Tiki Torches have way more torches than the other people have people, because that's an older town, they might not be able to fight like you would want. So let's hope it doesn't come to something crazy like that. But yeah, Either way, I'll see you soon. Peace.